Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 11th episode of our podcast series featuring interviews with women who stammer, sharing their inspiring stories with others. I am Vidya Lalgudi Jaishankar. I am an artist and a volunteer in TISA. Uh, Today, our guest is Akrishta Sahay from the Netherlands. She is a data scientist at a research and innovation firm. She was born and raised in Patna, Bihar, and moved to Ranchi for a bachelor's in engineering. Akrishta hold a master's of science degree in Life Science Informatics from the University of Bonn, Germany. She is a passionate she's passionate about developing AI-based products for disease diagnosis, prognosis, clinical decision making in the life science and sustainability sector. Thank you for listening. Hello, Akrishta.
Hello.
Welcome to our podcast, and it is a pleasure to have you here. So one announcement that I want to make is that I request all the participants to wait till the end of the session to ask questions and share your comments. Yeah, I would really appreciate your um, patience for that. So yes, Akrishta, hi.
Hi. Thank you for having me. It's always good to connect with TISA, and it's very encouraging to see such an initiative.
Thank
So yeah,
you.
thank you for doing this.
I mean, all the credit goes to Sachin sir for his incredible support in this. Um, so my first question is, what do you like about the Netherlands?
What I like about the Netherlands. So I've been here for quite some time now. It's been more than 5 years now.
Oh,
So this is practically my second home. I have my extended support system, friends, colleague. This is where I sort of started my career.
okay.
So yeah, it's a country that has been good to me.
So
So yeah,
yeah, what language they have? I'm sorry.
they have Dutch.
Okay, so you know Dutch.
Yes. So before this, I was in Germany for 3 years. There, I picked up a bit of German, and then here I picked up Dutch. So a bit of both.
Oh wow. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, I don't speak that much, but I can kind of get my way around. So
You are a quick learner of language then. That's wonderful to have.
I guess it's also about being I mean, the more I talk to my colleagues, it gets better, and they have been extremely helpful. So if I make a mistake, or if I have to, I keep on pestering them to talk to me in Dutch, and they are extremely supportive. So that
Wow,
helps.
wow, that's nice to know. That's nice to know. So I will ask the next question now. So at what age you started stammering and what was the support system back then and how it has changed over the years?
Yeah. So I think I remember stammering from as long as I was a kid. I think growing up, we don't really know if we talk differently. It's only when people start giving us that feedback that we know that wait, is this different? Or so I think that happened when I was probably 3 4 years old. I mean, that's the first active memory that I had. And I think after that, I became more conscious of my voice, and I
Mm.
started to notice my speech a bit more than I normally would.
Mm.
My parents were clearly aware that I talk differently because I did see them talk to the extended family about how they can help me. But this was when I mean, this is when I was probably younger than 10 years. So I think it took me a while to really figure out what was happening. But thankfully, they collected enough support to take me to a counselor when I was 12. So it was not really a speech therapist because I think they said that you have to be at least 13 or 14 to sort of start your therapy. I mean,
Oh,
something
okay.
around those lines. So before a therapist, my father he took me to a counselor,
Okay.
and that really made it possible to accept what was happening with me, because before that I made sure I found excuses to sort of not speak up, or back in school, if there was a chance to say um, read, then I made sure that I did not do it. So I think that was extremely helpful, because that's when I think I gain more confidence that if I don't put myself through that whole through that whole experience, that I will not improve.
Yeah.
So I think that really shaped um, my willpower to get better. So I didn't
Yes.
know how to do it, but I think that willpower, because of the family support, it got built up pretty early.
Okay.
And and then I got lucky with my friends and with my schooling. So yeah.
So, oh, okay. So, in your school, people were aware of something called as stammering, or the teachers are aware. I mean, were aware, like, how did
Um,
they approach, like, when it comes to, asking you questions and making you comfortable to, I mean, answer those questions and those stuff like that?
okay. So I think it was never actively discussed, but they clearly noticed it. So it could be as simple things as if they wanted to pick me to sort of give an answer. So they would ask that Akrishta, do you want to try? So I think it did give me a safe space to sort of take the stage when I wanted to. And to be honest, I did try to avoid every option to speak while growing up. So it was not a very active conversation, but I think they knew, my friends knew, but it was never a thing that they talked about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about to them, just out of curiosity? I'm asking, like, as
Um, I
as
think
a child.
sometimes I did. So
Okay.
when I spoke to them, they did have a lot of questions.
Okay.
But now that I know better, I think they were equally confused on what to talk about.
I
Uh,
understand.
but I can clearly say that they made sure to not put me in a spot.
Wow.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
very
extremely
supportive. Yeah,
helpful.
that's
Yes,
you were lucky in
absolutely.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my next question is, you are involved in developing, I mean, AI-based products for sustainability and also for disease prognosis. So, what made you to choose these particular, I mean, areas? Is that like any kind of anything sparked your interest in those
Mhm.
fields?
So I was always drawn towards biology. So when people used to mug up before bio exam, for me it came more it is something I never had to memorize. So it was something that I understand better than probably math.
Oh,
So
wow.
I kind of knew that I want to be in a space that includes healthcare.
Okay.
And then I did my bachelor's in biotech, and that's when I figured that I can code. And
Okay.
then I thought, okay, why not combine these two and then do a master's in that? So I combined biology, computing, math, and then I came to Germany. So I think it was not really decided that this is what I would want to do, but it sort of that path just happened.
Mm.
So
Quite interesting, no? When things come, I mean, like all
yeah,
your uh, uh, educational background come together and you can actually make use of it. It's something which is really interesting and motivating.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So when you work, you have to converse with a lot of people and then you have to collaborate cross-functionally and
Mhm.
also with the remote teams. So so as a person who stammer, can you share some examples of your experience working with these teams and how you I mean you can ensure that there is an effective communication?
Mhm. So I would say in that space, I had both good days plus bad days. So good days were when I could present properly, when I could convey my analysis or thoughts in a very coherent way. So I no longer try to not stammer, but I
Mhm.
just try to make sure that the people that I'm talking to, they actually can understand. While this is what I try, but on a lot of occasions, I did fail. So when I started working, I could not give a presentation. I had the report ready, I could not present it. Um, and I think I spent 15 minutes trying to present it. And then at some point, I just requested for a break.
Yeah.
And then I could pick it up. And also because I have been extremely lucky to find very supportive colleagues.
Mm.
So I think that was one example. And then when I was leading a team, it was quite challenging to give a speech or to motivate my team with my voice. So then I had to increase the frequency of one-on-one conversation to sort of have the same connection, but I had to use a different method. Also, I still so for my first job, right after masters, I was there for the technical interview, and I could not answer a single question
Okay.
because I mean, not that I did not know it, but it did not happen. And then I remember asking that person that I stammer, will that be a problem? And he said no. I said, okay, then can I explain the same thing but with the whiteboard? Because you can it
Mm.
was just something that I did, and that interview lasted for 3.5 hours, but it became a lot simpler.
Okay.
So had I not requested that option, I would have probably not cleared that round. So I think there were challenges where I had to be creative, and
Mm.
there were days when I just had to accept that this is a part of me and I will do better tomorrow.
Yeah, it's where the I mean, advocacy plays a very huge role where we have to uh, have the mindset to, I mean, ask for things that will make us comfortable in that
Yeah,
environment, and we have all the rights to do it.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's the point. Yes, it's very helpful that you shared it here. Um, and My next question is, you actually talked about what motivated you to enter into the field of,
Mhm.
I mean, sustainability and things. So what particular aspects of that job makes, is most fulfilling for you?
So I think it's a two-part answer. First being the kind of questions that I get to work on. It's really interesting. It's very rigorous. Um, and the people that I work with, so they are extremely knowledgeable. They are amazing sparring partners. So my typical day looks like you have a question and then you brainstorm.
Mm.
And the people are genuinely nice, so they like what they do. They like to share their knowledge, and they are extremely humble.
Okay.
So I think it's a combination of being within my domain that I like
Mm,
and being with people who are equally amazing to work with.
mm, mm,
So
mm, mm. Thank you. Okay. That's really interesting. Um, uh, so moving towards the aspect of your self-acceptance journey in stammering. So where are you now in that?
I am a lot better now that I am older. I think I am more at peace with accepting it. And to be honest, it didn't start till my 20s. It took its course, it took its time, but now I no longer try to hide it, and
Okay.
I'm more vocal about it. I am more careful in managing it. So it's no longer a taboo that I had in my brain growing up, that should not speak, or how will I make friends. Those things have now become better. I have accepted it to be a part of me, and just the good things that come with it. So, which means that if I have a friend, they are actually my friend. If I have a workplace, it's actually an inclusive workplace. So, yeah, I think with time it's become better.
So you said like there are positives in that. Can you elaborate on that? Because it's sometimes
So,
we are so blind
sure.
about. Yeah.
One thing I mean, for example, resilience. So
Sorry?
being fine with failure.
Right.
Um, so especially working in research, it's a big part of my daily life,
Mm, 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 mm.
and that mindset sort of helps. And I think it also shows through, because I have often gotten a feedback that she does not give up.
Wow.
So I
Wow.
think that um, I would say that stubbornness to sort of manage it and accept it, and to not let stammering become a barrier in what I want to do, does change you as a person.
Yeah, wow, nice, nicely said. So, again, this is also very closely, I mean, related to self-acceptance. So, what is your relationship with your stammering? Like, how do
Um,
you connect with it? Like, if it is a person, let's say, or like
mhm.
entity, how is the relationship with it?
So whenever I try to manage it, I see it as a version of Akrishta that is
Okay.
trying to meddle with what the other person is trying to do, and I just need to tell her to keep quiet. But it's more like a constant voice that is there and has been there since I remember. But now I can just keep her quieter. So
Okay.
she's there, but not that noisy.
How do you do that? Like, what do you tell her?
So it's also a function of time and putting myself through a lot of experiences.
Hmm.
For example, when I gave a presentation in a conference, I was scared, and that voice was pretty loud. And in one of the TISA conferences that I had attended, somebody had mentioned that you don't stammer when you talk to yourself. So I put plugs.
Yeah, I get it.
And I'm
I
like,
have done that once.
yeah, right? And it worked wonderfully. I did stammer, but it was so much in control. So I think, so it was just, so how I see my stammering is I see it as a part of Akrishta, which needs to be controlled at certain times. And so she's just there.
Okay. So it's okay. This is a question that I want to ask. Like, is when you say control, you mean to go in peace with her? Like, it's difficult. Like, if you say like we
Yes.
need to control her, but it's good in one way. Like, if we can, rather than that controlling us, we can control it. Like,
Yeah. So for a better word, maybe I can say that it's a part of me. So if I now go to a social gathering, I know that my voice will be choppy, and that's fine.
Okay, got it.
And when I go into a group of people, I know that okay, so that voice is there that you have to make an impression, but I'm like, it's fine.
So it's like, not give attention to that, because
Yes.
it's like a child. Like, if you give attention to it, it's going to overreact.
Exactly.
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 Yeah. So has your experience as a woman who stammer shaped your vision for future projects, or, I mean, initiative, especially when it comes to inclusivity and accessibility? Because we as a minority of minority, but still I'm not quite sure about the minority of minority, because the entire concept, I mean, the women who stammer, I mean, as a subject, the research is very less. So it's I'm little bit nowadays wary about the term of minority within minority. What do you want to do in future projects, AI wise, with respect to inclusivity and accessibility when it comes to women who stammer?
So one thing that really stands out is that there is not a lot of research on stammering. So you don't know why it happens, how it evolves. And I didn't see a lot of groups or research lab really trying to sort of look into it. And that is something that I would love to take up in the future. For example, now there is a huge interest in trying to use a person's voice to predict the kind of disease that they might have.
Sorry, can you
So
repeat that?
yeah, like so there is this new wave of research where they're trying to use a person's voice biomarker, like their voice,
Oh,
to sort of
wow.
connect to the kind of disease that they might have. So,
Okay.
for example, there are diseases where your speech slurs. Then, if your voice becomes too spontaneous or semi-spontaneous than your normal voice, it might indicate a mental health issue, or could be stress, could be anxiety. So, these kind of work is now coming up, and I would love to see if this sort of covers people who stammer.
Yeah.
So I have been following this part of the work, and so fingers crossed. I hope that
Wow. I
over
really hope you
time.
get to do that.
Me
It is,
too. Me
yeah,
too.
yeah,
I
yeah,
would love
yeah.
to.
Wow.
Yeah,
This is quite interesting. We will have a separate podcast for this
perfect.
alone.
Lovely.
Yeah. Um, okay. My were you saying something else about of this? No. Okay. Um, okay. In your experience, what are some of the ethical considerations that needs to be addressed when deploying, AI-based tools in healthcare and agricultural sectors? Yeah.
I think one of the biggest one that is that we need to consider is bias. So
Sorry?
whenever we bias within
Okay.
a model,
Okay.
um, because whenever we talk about training, we talk about a model, we have to know that there is some data behind it, and that data may not cover the entire population. So, and that might lead to either creation of new bias or uh, perpetuation of the existing bias. So, for example, it's a very popular example where if you tell a machine learning model to have a picture of a beautiful girl, it is most likely going to be a blonde white, and
White.
that is
Yeah.
bias.
Yeah.
So things like that needs to be taken care of when we are deploying models to be used by practically everybody. And then there is a issue of privacy, because when we are using that data to sort of train a model, we have to make sure that the consent was properly taken and has not been misused. So I think those two would be my top two.
Top ethical considerations. Yeah. Yeah. When it comes to agricultural thing, like what kind of tools? I mean, like in what sectors and all that you concentrate?
Oh, sure. So there are different applications where technology can be used to make farming and dairy a lot simpler for farmers.
Okay.
So, for example, what I worked on was at least in a lot of countries where the manpower is not that cheap,
Okay.
they have machines for milking cows, and these machines have a lot of sensors. And with those sensors, you can kind of predict when a animal might or might not fall sick.
Okay.
And that way, the farmer can give a treatment beforehand rather than
Okay.
wait till
Wow.
the cow gets sick.
Okay.
And then there could be a use case where we can predict the amount of methane that could be produced and then manage that. There are now drones with sensors that can go that can sort of cover the farm and find pests.
Oh,
So
it's like a video
that's
game. Yeah.
computer vision. Yeah. So yeah, and so there are a bunch of ways in which we can um, make their lives a lot easier, because it's a lot of manual work. So yeah, so I think that's
Wow.
something that can be
Yeah.
done.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. It's quite interesting concept. I'm a bit naive uh, in this area, so it's all new to me. So, my next question is, how long have you been involved with TISA, and how has how was your journey so far?
So I got I found TISA when I probably needed it the most. So during Bachelor, I think we go through the whole process of going for a placement, the first round, GD, and then the next process. For me, I never cleared a GD. And it made me feel like, wait, I'm not that stupid. I mean, if I can clear the first exam and I had decent points, but I just could not um, speak. And that's when I'm like, I need to do something about it. And that's when there was another junior of mine who um, stammered, and that is when it occurred to me that, wait, there are more people like me. And then I started searching, and the year I graduated, I attended the conference in Delhi.
Okay.
And till then, I wasn't fully aware of what accepting your stammer actually means. So I think
Wow.
going there has been a very pivotal moment in sort of meeting people who are from different from like they are they have jobs, because back then I thought that my career is done. But going there sort of made me feel more comfortable with my own life ahead. And just talking to people there and being able to connect with them was extremely helpful. Then when I moved to Hyderabad for my first job, I used to attend their meetups every Sunday. But then I left the country soon after. So, and after that, I didn't really have a chance to be actively involved. But I do keep a track of what is happening. So
Nice.
I've been not directly like I'm not very involved right now.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I will pull you here
please
sooner
do
or
so.
later.
Please do so.
Yeah.
Happy to. Happy to.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, this question I asked you before recording, but I'm going to ask you now again. Like, how important do you think female role models are for young girls who stammer? Did you have any when you were growing up?
I didn't have any. I didn't have a single person around me who I could connect to. And I seriously believe that if I did have a role model growing up when I was still trying to figure out what it means for me, I would have had more self-confidence, more self-esteem. I would not make everything about my stammer, because the way I spoke, the things that I participated in, my career thoughts were all governed by this one focal emotion. So I
Yeah,
think if I had role models, I would have more freedom to just be a child and think and dream.
yeah, yeah. You you directly said that, we as a child to have that in your mind always, it's like, yeah, I understand. Thank you for sharing this. I want, yeah, thank you. I want more answers, like in the sense, more perspectives on this, especially because as a female, it's quite rare to find another young lady to, lady as a role model or like a inspiration. So I want us to, go to schools and start um advocating and creating awareness about stammering. It will be a good thing to do in future.
Absolutely. I think it's more than that. I think it's also required,
Yeah.
because from what I know, a lot of kids, they do stammer, but they
Mm-mm-mm.
sort of stop doing it.
Yeah.
But um, I don't think that it's a very active conversation back in schools, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, my my next question is, what are your future aspirations?
Future aspirations. So future aspirations, I think career-wise, I am happy as long as I get to be in this space. I think that would be a dream come true in itself. Um, Also on, I think now I'm actively trying to be more kind to myself and not be this person that, okay, this is what I thought about and I have to do it. So just uh, being kind, taking a step back, um, having a more balanced life. Um, I'm trying to make new friends, because I think one of the thing that I do struggle with is to just go to a group and just be friends with them. So I take more
Yeah.
time to sort of find my tribe.
Yeah.
So in the coming future, I think that is going to be my short-term focus,
Mm.
that find people who are similar or different, and just grow as a person.
Yeah, I understand.
So,
Yeah, that's such a wonderful goal to have. Growth. Yeah, personal growth in every way is very fruitful. So yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I think my questions are over. So I would now open the room to people to ask questions and pass your comments, please. Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Akrishta. Hi, Vidya ma'am. It's a, a great conversation to hear. Yeah. Yeah. So, mm, mm, mm. My name is Sohan Manad, and I'm currently, you know, uh, working as a data analyst, and I'm also uh, uh, looking forward to become a data scientist in next 6 months. Yeah. So my question, like, I have two questions, and the first one is that since you have l- learned German and uh,
I'm sorry, can you ask? I mean, can you just get the
yeah,
last part of the question?
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was an issue. Yeah. My question is, since uh, you have learned German and Dutch. So I basically know three language: Kannada, English, and Hindi. So I'm thinking to learn a new language. Yeah, my question is that, did you find any difference in a way you stutter when we speak a different language? Because we have been uh, speaking same language for so many years, but the brain knows that in certain words you will stammer, and we get that stammer. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, and the second question is like, so I always think that how the uh, AI and m- 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 uh, machine learning can help us to uh, improve the way we speak. But like, I'm thinking that, like, for example, uh, when we speak, so there is a certain amount of fluency and disfluency, and suppose there is a tool, for example, which can see our face and see the way we stutter. Like, for example, like, currently, if I say, let's say a person is 30% disfluent and 70% fluent. So, like, do we have a like machine learning, or suppose we can build, a way we speak. So when we have a log, and the machine can know that the person is stammering in these words. So yeah, like, huh, uh, that way, like, I'm thinking. Yeah.
So thank you for your question. These are actually two extremely relevant questions. Uh, First one, do I stammer in a different language? Yes.
Mhm.
I'm not that fluent to sort of know the extent of it, but when I
Mhm.
take, or when I gave those exams, or when I was taking these language classes, it was there.
Mhm. Okay.
And for me, it's more pronounced with vowels than with consonants.
Oh,
Okay.
So be it Dutch, German, Hindi, English, that sound, it
Yeah.
sort of turns to a catch in my throat. So that's there.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And about machine learning models that can give like a voice score, that's a great
Yeah.
idea. And because like I mentioned that now there are groups that are trying to extract vocal features to predict anxiety, stress, and like different
Yeah.
things. So this problem statement falls into the same umbrella and can clearly be done.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but I have not found such models. So while looking into this topic, I could not find something that connects it to stammering. But it's a problem
Yeah.
that people are working on and can clearly be done.
yeah. I think we should have a separate podcast for this. And thank you so much for asking this, Sohan.
Yeah,
So wonderful
Yeah. Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Uh, and
Thank you.
yeah, we should have a separate podcast for this. I'm so
Yeah.
interested to have this
Yeah.
conversation. So you have any other questions, Sohan?
No, ma'am. No,
Okay.
I don't have any problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Hi,
you. Thank
Vidya. Uttam here.
Hi, Uttam.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, yeah, fine, fine. And I have been listening your your podcast since long, and it's been really wonderful for you organizing this podcast. So thanks for this. Uh, and this is first time I am on live. So my question with Akshita, right? Okay, actually my question is I have been working in IT company since past uh, 10 years as a Oracle DBA, and currently I'm working in Cognizant. So can I, and my age is 40 plus. So can I move, if I want to make my career in AI, or I want to do some, means I want to make my career in AI, or I want to switch my career. So can I do now? This means it's been already late, right? 40 plus, and can is it possible?
absolutely. So I think because you are already working with the technology, and a lot of these technologies are built with the same foundational principles. So your skill is clearly transferable. So I think the crucial part would be to find that niche where your uh, your skill set can be mapped to the corresponding tools and techniques within this data science space. So yeah, it's possible.
Okay, okay, fine. Thank you so much for this advice. And I will try to switch my career in AI. So thank you so much, Akshita. Thanks for answer.
Thank you, Uttam, for, uh, for your question. Thank you so much. So the next, Lakshman Kumar, Kumawat, I'm sorry. Hi, Lakshman. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Uh, very good evening to everyone. I joined first time today this session. So my question is there this class every day?
Uh, Sorry, this podcast you're asking? No,
Yes,
it
ma'am.
is it is currently twice a month. So you will get an information, like 1 week prior, or like a few days prior. Uh, so yeah, that's how it is. Twice a month for now.
Okay, ma'am. If it is possible in weekly, in a week 2, 3 times, so it will be more helpful to us.
Yeah, I will try to make it. Thank you. I'll try to make it,
Thank you. Thank
Lakshman. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, Fraser, if I'm right, am I
Okay, hi.
pronouncing it? Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, a very good evening, everybody. And it
Good
was
evening.
nice to hear Akrishta speak her experience. Uh, just the questions for her because she stays in Holland, right, in Netherlands.
Yeah.
Just to know what is the mindset of the people in Holland for a person who stammers. How do they look at a stammerer? And India schools, so India academics, uh, help the children in case they stammer or like what is the upbringing for those people who stammer there? So is it like India, the people in Holland or in Germany, they also make fun of the children or like what's the mindset of the people outside India? Just want to know.
Sure. Thank you for your question. I don't know how how a children's experience would look like. Personally, my Dutch colleagues have been extremely patient, and I have been quite vocal about my stammering. So if I go to a presentation, then I sort of give a disclaimer that I stammer, and I just thank them beforehand for their patience. And they are extremely helpful. I can see them wait till I complete uh, my speech. And when I told them about this podcast, their first reaction was that I should post it within the company's portal to sort of raise awareness. So as
Wow.
a society, at least for an adult, I find it more inclusive. And so far, I've not faced any discrimination. So yeah, it's been good to me.
Yeah, so that's nice to know that people there that we people are more acceptable. They are not they're not so discriminatable to us, I would say. So that's
Yeah.
open mind, an open mind there for
Yeah.
people who stutter or people who stammer.
Yeah.
So you find it easy then. It's much easier to move around there. It's easy to communicate with the Dutch or with the Germans. So that is what you would like to say, right?
Yes, I mean, there has never been a case when I have been excluded from a presentation, be it at a small scale or a big scale. So I
Mm.
think that I take as an indication that your merit is more important than your fluency. So I think
And
yeah.
okay, and what about the schools? So in high schools, do they have any do have a program for children to stammer or do have any courses they do or they keep you aside and they treat you something special or what is the program? I don't, do you know that?
I don't know that, but I have seen a lot of groups that are present locally, where kids can go and sort of meet people and learn from them. I haven't really explored speech therapy outside India, so I'm not really aware of the dynamics for children.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your answer.
Thank you so much, Shazia. Thank you. Now, Yatharth Sharma, can you ask your question?
So what I wanted to ask was that Neuralink has made something of an breakthrough, someone who is not able to use his hands or like anything, and a chip has been, inserted in his brain, and that can control things. So if you have any idea about it, how far are we from making changes in brain from that chip, so that maybe they can eliminate the stammering component in the brain, or like make changes so that uh, it can help people with disfluency, if you have any idea about it.
That's a great question because indeed these electronics have a lot of potential. And what we discussed before this, it's extremely crucial to first understand why it happens and the mechanism in which it can present itself, because not every person is same. So just to take an example, post-traumatic stress disorder. So it's not one mechanism, but can happen in different ways. So we need to have a better understanding on the different pathways that can and does get involved when a person stammers. And once that science is defined, it will be a lot easier to build solutions.
All right, all right, all right. So like, how much years are we behind of that? If like a ballpark
A lot.
figure.
A lot.
Okay, got it.
I mean, I'm not a researcher in this space, but from what little I tried to find out, I think that we still have a long way to go.
Thank you, Akrishta.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Yadat. Thank you so much for the question. Now, Rakesh Lokani. Yeah.
Yeah, firstly, hello to everyone, and I would like to thank to the host and guest to this podcast. Ma'am, I want to ask a question to Akshita ma'am. That like do you have any idea that how HRs HRs look our problem?
Yes, I have few experience with that. When I was convinced that I will not get a job due to my stammering, and this happened in Germany, I attended a session and I told them that I stammer. So which company should I target? And they said that you should apply to a bigger company because they have better policies for that their policies are more inclusive. And the job that I actually got after that was in a startup, and it was equally good and extremely inclusive. So I think it's more about who you are talking to and how they perceive you as a person and what their mindset is, because it's the problem is not here but more about the perception. So if you are good,
Yeah,
if you have the right skill set, that's it.
yeah, ma'am. I have uh, another question to you. That like in Germany, like, do you find any medicine to stammering?
No, no,
Okay,
no.
yeah, ma'am. Like, I have one more question to ask you. Can I ask you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like, is it good to say to the HR while starting our interview
I think
about our
so.
stammering?
I think so. Because more than them, it puts the person, it will put you in a much better headspace, and you can focus more on the question, plus the and you can keep your focus on telling them what you know, and they will be better prepared to accommodate your needs. So
Okay,
it's always good to just sort of go in. And I also feel it shows a sense of confidence when you go and you declare that, hey, this is me, accept it, and thank you for your patience. So it
Yeah.
also comes a little powerful, and that often helps.
Yeah. Project
Yeah.
it in a way like you are a
We
best speaker in spite of that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a part of you. You don't have to feel anything. I mean,
Mm.
don't have that negative thought in your mind.
Exactly.
Be very proud and say it loud.
Yeah, thank you so much. At the last, I have one more question. Can I ask you if you don't mind?
Sure.
So, uh, like mm, I have a visa interview on like in next month. Like, do they judge me regarding my stammering or not?
I
For
don't think so.
USA, for you,
US.
especially yeah.
I don't think so, because US, they will ask you very basic questions. Again, there I think it's all about confidence, because you have paid for your appointment. You are gonna pay
Yeah.
for the ticket. You are helping their economy to, I mean, by going there. So I think it's more about just be yourself, and those are very basic questions. Why you are going, for how long? So
Ma'am, actually, I was rejected already. It will be my second attempt, but I don't know that how I was rejected, whether because of stammering or my low confidence.
just ask them.
Therefore,
I don't know. Like,
okay.
yeah.
Actually, we are not allowed. Actually, we are not allowed to ask them reason for our rejection. That's
And I
why
mean,
I came back
if
silently.
you feel that it's that, I mean, honestly, if you have this thought, it's always good to tell the person across the counter that I stammer, so I'm gonna speak slowly or just be patient. So it's, I mean, if you have that thought, I think it'll be better if you just convey it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am, for host and Akrishta ma'am for boosting my confidence to attend interviews. You are my um motivation. Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rakesh. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Uh, now we have Rohit Mengani. Hi, Rohit.
Yeah, so hi, ma'am. Ma'am, I basically I just wanted to ask two questions. The first one is, does stress increase your stammering? The stress part, like, uh, I think stress is a basic part of our lives. And does stress in some way or the other increase the stammering part? And the second question is, I have like you know sort of with respect to proper nouns. So what I have found about myself is that I have trouble with proper nouns specifically. So have you faced some sort of a problem with that, or no? like uh, what have been your experiences? For example, uh, introducing yourself. I have insane amount of trouble introducing myself. So I wanted to know your experiences with with regard to these bits.
Okay. So to answer your first question, does stress increase my stammering? 100%. If I don't control that anxiety or that stress, or just the stress of knowing that I will have to speak now, it almost always converts to me stammering a lot more than I normally do. I think this goes back to our previous conversation, that it's basically like a child that you have to calm down. So yes, it does happen. And if I got your question correct, you asked if there are certain sound where I stammer more. Did I get your question correct?
Yeah, my question was about proper nouns. For example, my name and where I am from and all these basic things. So it's that block somewhere in the mind that, happens to be that like you get really anxious and then you sort of get stuck with that.
It does happen with some words, and it still does.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to ask, like, is it something, if that information has to be conveyed perfectly, because proper nouns, you cannot change it. So that has to be said as it is. So
That is
probably,
yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
yeah. So I too have that issue, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the issue that I would like to share my experience, which ma'am said that she sort of openly said that she has a stammering issue. So what happened with me? I had gone to a few matrimony prospects, and sadly for me that didn't work out. I was sort of very transparent with the person that I have a speech problem, and if you have any problem with that, so let's just sort of, it's okay, like if you have a problem with that. So what she did was, in that instance, she probably told her whole family about it, and it became a big issue. So I think in India we have this problem where we aren't very accepting of our flaws. So that has been my personal experience with that.
I think this is not about your flaw at all. At all, no.
Yeah, it shows more about that person, the other person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a very similar experience in matrimony. I actually initially told that person I stammer, and yeah, it went, it didn't. And then the next one, what I did is which is my husband, I actually had a good conversation and became friend with him. And then later I told that I stammer. So he had the room to understand me as a person rather than judging based on my stammer. So that helped me to get get married.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's great. Fantastic.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to say, Rohit?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to ask one final question, ma'am. Since you have, I can see that your profile, you have been, masters. You have a, masters in, Master of Science. So, how was your experience, shifting there, and what challenges, you faced there? I wanted to ask because, shifting from one place to another is a very anxious experience, and so I wanted to just sort of ask you about that.
My experience was, in retrospect, it was good. There is obviously a whole period of adjusting to a new place, language, food. You fall sick, you miss home. So it's a part of that whole process that does not go away. But you also find people who are in the same boat. And then once you find them, it becomes a lot easier.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't whitewash it, but yeah, it happens.
Yeah. Thank
Sure
you.
thing, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohit. So yeah, a lot of questions coming your way. I mean, Rishi, are you there?
Hello. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, this is the first time I have been on such platform, and my question is that in my workplace, when I talk to someone individually, I somehow can manage my stammering. But in front of four, five, or many people, I I am not able to control my stammering, and so what can I do to overcome this problem?
To be honest, I had a meeting today in front of 6 people, and I could not give a proper introduction just because it was not one-on-one. Uh, I don't think I have a solution, because that's why I said that it happened today, despite having done that a lot of times. And this is when I already knew a part of that group. So I don't know how to mimic that comfort that we get when we are in a one-on-one conversation in a more group setting. How I deal with it is that I just talk very, very slow. So if I have to say my name is Akrishta, I say my name is Akrishta. So I just slow down my breathing, and that helps. So not a perfect solution, but at least that's the way that I manage it. Does that help?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Rishi, and thanks, Akrishta, for sharing this your experience, because it helps us to relate to it and understand our own stammer better. So we have one more question from a user 12345. So
Yeah,
hi,
this is Manasi.
hi Manasi.
Akrishta, it was very nice listening to you and your experience. I wanted to know whether did you go for actually I joined late. I do not know whether you had already explained about it. But did you go for any speech therapy or voice therapy here or out of India?
So
in,
I
in
did.
India or out of India, and did any voice modulation technique help you, because you seem to be speaking very confidently, as well as the stammering is not that obvious. So I just wanted to know whether do you take the help of voice modulation or anything as such.
So I did have speech therapy growing up, but that speech therapy I don't think it really became a tool in my 20s.
Okay.
What did affect me a lot was the counseling that my parents sort of introduced me to, and after that, just a lot of reading, and yeah, and recently I have approached some voice coach to sort of understand how I can make it better for me. Mostly because I find that it is physically draining when I talk for a long time. And so that's why I have now been looking for people who can help me better understand if it can be made better, or if I can improve my comfort. Therapy wise, I think that has been the extent of it. So yeah, I have not approached anybody in the last 10 years, but I think now I do feel the need to find one.
Wow. The use of sorry.
And
yeah.
what about your say on voice modulation? Like, does it help? Means, have you tried that while talking?
Yes. So if I change my accent in a more sing-song way, it works a lot better.
Yeah.
So there is this very particular accent and a way of speaking that I think if my parents hear me talk this way, they'll be like, what, like, they will be a little confused. But not being at home gives me a space to experiment with my voice because I'm
Exactly.
a stranger to practically everybody around me. So I can go and just sort of try out a different technique and then see which one works.
Yeah, exactly. Because this voice modulation, it helps a lot many a times. And we can get to know what suits us better and what gives us more comfort level and confidence also.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Mansi. Thank you for this question. Thank you, Akrishta, for answering it. I think the questions are over. Are there any other comments or questions audience wants to share? Okay, so I think, yeah, we have come to the end of the session. First, I would like to thank Akrishta for giving us this wonderful, her wonderful time and knowledge and shared her knowledge with us. It was very inspiring and we get to know a lot of things about the future of AI when it comes to stammering. A lot of wonderful questions from audience. Thank you so much to all the participants who came and patiently waited till the end to ask the questions. And thank you so much to everybody. Thanks, Akrishta, again.
Thank you for hearing my story so patiently. And it's just very humbling to have people actually listen to you for this long. So thank you.
Thank you so much.